Do you think that love can bloom, even on a battlefield?
No, Otacon. That's stupid. Why are you even asking that?
Well, welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG. Wait. This week, this is Square Roots, your favorite classic RPG podcast, and this week we're covering part 2 of a very not RPG game that John foisted on us at the end of the year, Metal Gear Solid.
And unfortunately, Jim got sick. Everyone's getting sick right now.
Jim got the COVID, and Vanessa actually was on the call and then hung up before we started because she refused to record with us tonight.
And if you think that's a joke, it is not. So this is what I'd call a one-hander and a two-hander. The rare Matthew Johnny two-hander.
We've definitely done a couple of these, though. I think we did several. I think these are the least rare kind of two-handers, I think.
Oh, you think?
Because we did several Zelda episodes, just the two of us.
Oh. I know we've done several bonus episodes, like Sailor Moon and, what was that RPG I really didn't like, the one that was like Ys on the NES? The one that was like, I thought this was going to be 9 hours long, and then it turns out that How Long to Beat was wrong, and it's like a 30-hour game.
I don't remember that one, so I don't think that was me, and I don't think I would have played that.
Crystallis? Is that it?
I love Crystallis. What a great game!
Yeah, it was Crystallis.
That was a great game that I got way further into than I needed to, but I did not finish because, frankly, as great as that game is, it's not actually a good game.
Really long.
Well, it's a fucking NES game. It's like one of the most in-depth RPGs available.
Yeah.
On the Nintendo.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this, but Zelda's pretty fucked up too.
I'd rather play Dragon Quest IV if I was going to play an RPG on the Nintendo. Or Earthbound Zero.
Well, let's stop talking about RPGs because we're not playing one of those this week. This week we're finishing off our 2-part end-of-the-year special demanded by the patrons.
By
who told us that
James Play.
who told us that we had to play Metal Gear Solid 1 in 2021. And I guess everybody just liked that rhyme enough that is all it takes, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, I think that people have got out of murder charges that way. I think that people have won presidential elections with a good rhyme. We like Ike, for instance. Remember that one?
Sure. Yeah. Remember Biden's famous, what was Biden's famous rhyme? Dump Trump?
Oh, really?
No, but it should have been.
I don't think there's any hot gaming news, because it's like there's a pandemic and it's got super bad again, and it's Christmas, and everyone's sick or on holiday, and it's like -16 here.
I've got some hot gaming news. My hot gaming news is that PUBG is going free to play next month.
Ooh.
I believe on the 25th. So if you are on the Xbox or the PS4 and you've ever wondered about trying out that stupid-ass PUBG game with the Square Roots gang, we should try setting up some customs, you know? If it's a free download, maybe people will join it even if they don't care.
Yeah. Yeah,
we can do pistols and bicycles only, John. Pistols and bicycles only.
I hate pistols.
Those bicycles are... I've gotten really good aiming off the bicycle, too. I headshot people off the bike all the time now. It's so funny. What a delightful game.
Well, actually, I don't know. I don't have any hot gaming news. I've been busy.
Activision is still trash. That's hot gaming news.
Sure.
Tales of Arise won RPG of the Year at the Gaming Awards, and I just picked it up. But I was going to talk about that in my... Well,
yeah,
I don't know.
let's level up.
I don't watch awards, but yeah, let's level up. Jonathan?
Not my name.
How about I let you allow me the honor of having you level up after me? So I bought some new games for Christmas, because who doesn't? And I'll just talk about them briefly. I got Tales of Arise, which I've been enjoying. It's a little too soon for me to be playing another Tales game, but this one does feel like a good big leap forward, so that's nice. I'm about to put it on the back burner for Dragon Age, but I got about 8 hours into it, and I liked it. The combat is fun and slick. The graphics look great. It's got an interesting hooky plot so far. I imagine that we'll end up killing some sort of god and somebody will be a prince or a princess, but that's fine. I am playing a faceless slave right now, so... Anyway, he's got a mask on. They call him Iron Mask. It's clearly there's a JRPG boy underneath there. What's it matter?
He's probably a prince or something.
He's gonna have big eyes, he's gonna have a little triangle for a nose, and a line for a mouth. Like, why are we wasting our time?
His hair is shaped like a big bean.
The only question is, what will his hair look like? And we already know that it's gonna be spiky and silver because it pokes out of the bottom of his helmet. So anyway.
Oh, okay.
But it's got a fun, interesting dynamic with the plot. It's a little similar to Tales of Vesperia because they kind of do the same thing over and over, but, a little different. And, yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I also got Diablo 2 remastered, the version that comes with Diablo 3, Forever, whatever edition, the complete edition, so I might mess around with some Diablo soon. I feel like Diablo 2 would be a good one for the show. Yeah, John's nodding his head in agreement there. I also spent an extra $5 and got Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. That's right, playing this game made me buy that game for $5. That's it, that's all I got. John, before I let you level up, I want to talk to you a little bit about Star Trek.
Okay.
I watched
Star Trek The Next Generation with my mom.
Did you? That's nice. Yeah. How did your mom like Discovery?
She liked that there was a chubby woman in Starfleet.
Tilly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she thought the trans characters were interesting, and she guessed, like, the plot twist, or not the plot twist, but how episode 2 was going to happen. And she's like, oh, this character and that character are going to learn to get over their disagreements that suddenly came up in this episode. Like, yep, I think you're right.
Weird. I finished up TNG again for maybe the third time since I first watched it like 2 years ago. Give me a break. We lived through a pandemic. I watched it a couple of times. It was great. I never finished it. I've never watched the last episode for some reason, so I watched it this time. It was fine. You know, I mean, it resets it at the end and is like, that shit happened. It was classic. Classic finale storytelling. I liked it. And then, I mean, it's terrible, but whatever. And then I did watch my way through all of the Star Trek TNG movies. John, name your favorite Star Trek TNG movies in order.
Okay, Insurrection, and maybe the Borg one, but I think the Borg one's still pretty bad. And that's it.
Nemesis.
No.
I thought you said First Contact was your favorite one.
Yeah, that's First Contact. No, I'd say Insurrection's better than First Contact.
Nemesis is the Borg one. No, Nemesis is the Romulans one. You're right. First Contact is the Borg one. So I watched through them, and in my estimation, First Contact's written by somebody who didn't really like Star Trek. Everybody acts weird.
Same with Generations, though.
Yeah, I didn't watch Generations. I've seen that one enough times. And I don't care about Kirk. Like, get out of here, dude. William Shatner's trash now. I don't know if you know that. Anyway, Insurrection was okay. Yeah, like Insurrection and Nemesis are both fine. I didn't find either of them so bad that they weren't watchable, but neither of them are like good enough to ever watch again, really. Nemesis has young Tom Hardy, which is funny. Adam Scott is at the very beginning at one point and then dies.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think. Or maybe he doesn't die, but he's on Worf's ship. He's like on the con of Worf's ship. And Worf's ship gets blown up, I think, but Worf gets out. Or maybe they get him on, we just don't see him again. Anyway, and then Nemesis is a weird one, but whatever. And now I'm watching Picard. Look at me. All caught up with my Star Trek. Did you like Picard, John?
No.
No.
Not
so,
really. I mean,
it's Chrono Crossy. Like, it's real, like, kill your darlings. Like, oh, by the way, everything's shit. Oh, the Rikers, yeah, they had this cool dead kid. And, like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Fuck you. That was a rare disease. Okay. What's the point of Star Trek? You know what I don't like? Here's the deal. I think you'll agree with me on this. Federation is the bad guy. Like, kind of ruins Star Trek. Like, it's not fun. Like, we all get that the real world is shitty and that governments are bad. But, like, it feels to me like the point of the Federation is to do stories where you don't have to worry about that shit. Where there's, like, some hope because humanity is good, or, like, people are good in the end. But anytime your story is like, by the way, the Federation are all total evil dickheads.
Well, I think my problem with a lot of new Trek is that it feels like to be golden age of television, peak TV, prestige TV, it has to, like, wring all the characters through the worst situations and make them miserable. It's like, you don't have to do that. I think I was surprised that episode 2 of Discovery and episode 3 of season 4 are like, oh, let's do team stuff and not just focus on one character. And it's sort of all the characters. And I think that works so much better for Star Trek.
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing with the newer season of Discovery, and I'm hoping that's kind of where it goes. Unfortunately, well, anyway, I don't want to get into that side of it. But, yeah, Picard is okay. It does that full season plot, like, I think Star Trek works better as a show that is about, an ensemble cast, and B, like, week-to-week Monster of the Week stories. I mean, that's the whole goddamn premise of the show, is like, what if we put them out in space, and then we can do anything, right? If you watch TNG and Deep Space Nine, and I'm sure you know this, they do every kind of television drama that they can do.
A noir, there's westerns, there's baseball,
there's medical dramas, there's cop dramas, there's sport. They do all sorts of stuff. And then they also do all of the tropes, like, there's a haunted house, and this time it's the ship. But it's not really haunted, it's haunted by characters who are cloaked, And then the next season they do another haunted house thing. There's a ghost story in every season of TNG. Usually they're not actually ghosts until...
Except for that awful...
the candle or whatever it is. The lamp.
Nana's journals were very erotic.
I skipped by that one as I was running through the last... In fact, I skipped through the last, 8 episodes of the last season, because I looked through them all, and I was just like, ugh, Garbo. No, thank you. I forgot that Worf and Deanna got together at the literal very end of the series. So that when Will and Deanna got together in the movies, it was a real big fuck you to Worf. I like Worf and Deanna more, anyway. Anyway, Jonathan.
Not my name.
Jonathan, I think that it's time to let you go ahead and get away with do your level up.
Sure.
Okay, tell me how you leveled up. One more thing, though, actually. I got this. Sorry, John.
Okay, I guess you're listening. So I did...
Kinda.
I did see that there is a... Robert Boyd posted that there's a 3DS sale on right now, and it's not Nintendo games, because Nintendo... Basically, everyone's pretty sure that 3DS is going to stop allowing credit card transactions in, like, a month or two. So that's
Bitcoin only!
Well, it just means that the store's dead, basically. So Sega and Capcom were like, well, we want to get as many sales and bucks out of this as possible. So they put all their games on for $10. And Sega owns Atlas, which makes, Persona and Etrian Odyssey and all the Shin Megami Tensei games. So those are all $10. And so that's
So
great.
you're saying your uncle that works at Sega said that they're launching a new console for Persona games only?
No. And so I got a bunch of them, like all these weird Shin Megami Tensei games, like Soul Hackers and Strange
All
Journey.
Shin Tenseis.
And SMT 4 and 4A, which is like, 4-2. And
I have one of those.
Oh, okay. I've been playing 4. It's pretty good. It's because I have 3 on the Switch, and 4 definitely feels like a much newer game than 3 on the Switch. Like, it's just a lot smoother. The story works a lot faster. I really like the fusion. I like it has the talk to monsters to get them on your side thing, which always works really. That's always fun. I like that.
That is always fun. Yeah.
And
I think we should really try to get one voted for this year.
Yeah, 3 or 5 or 4. Well, yeah, 4 if the 3DS store is still open. But then again, Jim, he says he doesn't want to play.
I don't like playing on the 3DS.
So yeah,
no, it hurts my fingers. I'm not playing another one on the 3DS.
So 3 or 5 then.
Is it on the Vita?
No.
Oh.
I also got a bunch of the Phoenix Wright games that I didn't have.
Hell yeah. Those are the best
I like
games.
those, and I was sort of following the adventures of Apollo Justice, who's like his protege. So that's pretty fun. Yeah, I got a bunch of those. I'd say check out SMT4 if you have a 3DS and like playing on it, because it's cheap right now. You got another week to take advantage of all these specials, so they're still around. And if there's anything sort of left around by either of those companies on 3DS, go get it. I hate that Nintendo's like, yeah, we're closing our store, but we will never deeply discount our games because we will take them to hell rather than let them be cheap.
Yeah. It's a forced scarcity thing. It's like an intentional choice that they make.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
Anyway, so that is
And Vanessa's not here, so we can just be honest and say, pirate everything!
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did play through Twin Snakes on an emulator because hooking up the GameCube to a modern TV is hard, especially if your converter breaks.
Is it?
I mean, a little bit. So, with that out of the way, how about we call the Colonel and get our mission log?
Get on the mission log. Snake! Snake!
It's me, Snake. Liquid. Yeah.
No, that's more the other one.
I know. Hush, I'll do what I want. I noticed in this game, this time that Liquid calls his brother Snake, which is also his own last name. Like, you should probably call him Solid Guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little weird. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine if my brother called me Van Zant?
Yes.
So,
Oh, hey, Vanny.
all right, well.
You, So last time, if you remember, we left when you get into the communications tower because it's when you switch discs. And in my playthrough, Meryl still alive. Did you survive interrogation, Matt?
I did. I have to admit that I was, as you remember last time, I was a little behind. So I did decide to just play it with a guide.
That's fine.
And I got through interrogation, and I was trying to pull up your notes, but woof, those are barely notes.
I remember what happened. So
Yeah, I did. I was really angry. I went, does he always come back, or is it a time thing? I wasn't really sure what was going on.
what do you mean?
You do like a round of like 3, and then he comes back and does it again, right?
Yeah,
you do it
you
once,
always have
twice?
the 2 sessions, for sure. I don't know if you get more if you can't. No, I think it's plot-wise. Sniper Wolf always comes and lets you out. So yeah, you get let. See,
Otacon.
I thought Sniper Wolf let you out. Otacon comes by and he's like, "There's nothing I can do. I'm an idiot."
No, that's not what happened for me.
Oh,
That's weird. He gave me a handkerchief.
yeah, he gave me a handkerchief too, but then didn't let me
And some
out.
ketchup and some tuna, and I laid down. I put the ketchup on the floor and I laid down.
Maybe
and,
that's what I
and the
did.
man came in
Yeah,
and I killed him
you're
and I
right,
skipped
you're
it.
right. Yeah, okay. I thought what's her face came by and like slipped the card in or something. Or she just gave. I don't know. Maybe she just gave the handkerchief. Anyway,
Otacon gives you the level 6, I think, card too. So once you trick the guard into opening the door, then you're able to get out of the room.
so
Anyway, yeah, the thing I managed to get through it.
Yep.
Very proud of myself. I mean, I had a guide telling me to do the button, but it wasn't hard.
and then you
Were you able to do it?
yeah, this is the first time. I could never do it on the original like DualShock PS1. Maybe I'm better at smashing buttons now, or it's easier. I bet it's just easier on the GameCube one because I didn't have a problem compared to last time. So now we head up to the communications tower, and we have to climb up some stairs. And the game's kind of annoying here because there's these laser beams that you cannot avoid that will
Just
set
throw
off
chaff
an
grenades.
even. Oh, does that let you get through the laser beams?
Oh, were there laser beams here?
Yeah, and that's why everyone's like as you go up the stairs, there's a gajillion guards coming after you. Did that happen to you?
Yeah, fuzzy.
Okay.
Jam.
Okay. Well, that's what happened to me. You have to fight your way up all, the 30 floors of the staircase. There's a door that Hal tells you about, but then he's like, "Oh, I forgot. It freezes shut when it's cold." And so it was frozen shut.
Bum, bum, bum.
He's like, "Yeah, the guards use C4 to open it when it's cold." Like, come on.
Sure.
So you get to the top, and there's another bridge up there that you're going to cross. But then, who comes in? There's stupid Hind D, but your dumb twin brother, spoiler alert, Liquid Snake.
Liquid Snake, I don't believe anything he said, by the way. He proved nothing. He offered no evidence.
He
He
does.
didn't look anything like me. He didn't
Yeah,
sound
that was the
anything like
weird
me.
part. Hello, brother. Yeah, Cam
Hello,
Clark.
brother!
No, that's the other one.
No,
That's
stop. I will do how I want to
Okay.
it, sir. Hello, brother!
that's Cam Clark, the voice of Donatello from everyone's favorite cartoon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Street Sharks.
No, Leonardo. Sorry, he's the boring one. Leonardo.
Pretty sure it's Raphael.
I think he's Leonardo.
Pretty sure he talks just like
So,
Raphael,
I
aka
did
Cobra Commander.
try shoot. Actually, the one part I had to look up a guide for was that I couldn't remember how to get off this stupid roof because he comes in, he starts blowing things up. You can't actually hit it. You have Nikita missiles, but they won't go up or down, so you can't hit him with Nikita missiles. You can only hit him with the other kind of missiles, which you don't have, which is very annoying. So there's one very specific point, and you have to walk up to it in a specific way to trigger scaling down to the other bridge via a rope that you picked up at the bottom of the staircase. And if you don't stand in the right place, you keep getting shot at until you figure out where you're supposed to go. And that's the fun of this section.
And what do you get when you get down?
When you take the rope down to the bridge, and then you have to fight a few people to cross the middle bridge. You can use the C4 to open up that door if you want. Then you scooch on over and get inside, and you get a Stinger missile, which is the one that has lock-on technology.
Yeah, Stinger time!
I did enjoy the Stinger missile, because, it's only a few hits of that. And that takes down... He seems very stunned that you would somehow have the ability to hit him with the rocket launcher.
Yeah. Like all the bosses, though, it does take, 16 fucking rockets to kill him, which is wild. It takes, 3 rockets to kill, a regular-ass guy.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right. So he's like, "What are you doing, brother? You'll never be able to... Oh, you can defeat me because you have a rocket launcher. I didn't think about that one!" And it does sort of give you the impression that, Liquid Snake died in the crash. But of course he didn't.
Yeah, I feel like they do that fake out, 6 times, actually.
Yeah, well, at least for each boss, right?
I mean, they definitely do. Liquid at least fake dies at least one more time. If not
Oh, yeah,
twice.
that's true. Yeah,
if not 3 times.
Yeah, he does fake
The end
die
of
a
this
lot.
game is a series of fake death scenes.
So, you do then get access to the other tower, and you can climb the stairs down, and they're a lot quieter. This time, the only problem on the stairs down is there's some auto turrets. They don't trigger alarms, these auto turrets, but you do have to, blow them up. But in the GameCube version, you can aim, between the bars, so it's really easy just to shoot them. I guess you can with a sniper rifle, too, in the PS1 version.
Are we still talking about the Hind D fight?
After the Hind D. After you shoot down the Hind D.
Oh,
Oh,
after
no,
you
but I'm
have
missing something. You get to this other one, but then you get down to where the elevator is, and the elevator's not there, then you walk around a bit and come back, and Hal's there. And he's like, "Hey, buddy."
Hal?
It's me, Hal Emmerich. Otacon.
Oh.
And,
Use his proper name, please. We use code names on this show.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Otacon's there, and he's like,
All right,
"Oh,
Liquid Bear.
I'll go down and see what's up." And he's like, "Can you go fix the elevator?" And he's like, "Sure." He goes down. He calls back saying, "Yeah, the elevator's working, but it's weird. I didn't do anything." And you get onto the elevator, then the weight alarm goes off, saying that it's at a maximum capacity. He's like, 1,500 pounds. That's 7 people or something. Or 1,000 pounds.
Yes.
That's 5 people.
It's 600 pounds. It's 600 pounds, and they do, the math. Otacon's like, I weigh 125.
All right. Go you.
Yeah, go you.
So,
We're going to get a really gross letter from Vanessa later about him, so
Yeah.
might as well. Start sexing him up now. He's got curtains over his glasses. He's got blonde curtains over his square glasses.
Well, let's not spoil the fact that he's a floppy-haired boy.
He's so floppy-haired.
Yeah.
Spoiled. We've met him several times. We should have spoiled it last time.
He is a floppy-haired boy. So we do realize...
He was a fan of Japanimation.
and robots. There's a great piece of art when Otacon's screaming at you. They're on the elevator, and it does this. He's screaming into the camera. It's wonderful. I love that piece of art. He realizes that some of his cloaks are missing, and they
4 of
are...
his cloaks are missing. There were 6.
And that means that there's cloaked people, and they're so easy
It's
to
a
kill.
bullshit fight. It's
Yeah,
so
I
stupid.
got my tranquilizer, so I just do one little shot to the head, and they just go for
They just
sleeping.
knock you down, knock you down, knock you down.
I just put them into sleepy time. It was great. And you can beat those guys up, and that was pretty fun. You do not, however, take their optical camo. Matt, why don't you take their optical camo?
Because you shot it full of holes and it's covered in blood now.
Yes.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, John. There's not a tranquilizer pistol on the game I'm playing.
Okay, that's true. I want to wear their optical camo. I know you can get it.
You get it in the next one, right? Or do you get it later in this one?
I think if you play as a new game plus, you can do it and get Gray Fox's optical camo. And you get down to the bottom of this one, and now you can leave, which is great.
Yeah, cool story. We get to leave. Wow. Tell me more, John. Tell me more about how we leave.
There's a field between the communication tower and the base where the underground base where Metal Gear is stored. And unfortunately, this is prime snipering. And of course, in the Twin Snakes version, Snake does do a flip over the bullets and stuff in Matrix time. It is wonderful. I can't recommend this version enough. Because he's dodging all the bullets and spinning and pirouetting around them. Ah, so good.
Sounds great.
And
In my version, a bunch of blocky, fucking faceless, fingerless monsters shake around on the camera.
And Sniper Wolf has the beat on you.
Yep.
However, you have a sniper rifle too. So this is a real one-on-one sniper battle. I got the tranquilizer sniper, so I chose to make her all sleepy.
What? You cannot kill her?
But she dies anyways. The cutscenes pay no attention to it.
Well, yeah, imagine how much rewriting I would have to do there.
That's true. Well,
I did
all they have to
the
say
sniper,
is,
and it was fun.
Fox
My last
dies
shot-
killing me.
was, I'm pretty sure my last shot was in, like, her fucking elbow. It's poking around a corner. It was really funny. Felt like a real PUBG shot, to be honest with you.
I really like this sniper battle. I think it's the best boss fight
The
of the
controls
game.
are hot garbage, you know? That's the biggest problem here.
Yeah, I do enjoy the Metal Gear games, but the way they control is so frustrating. Because it's nothing like any other game, so you sort of have to unlearn how you play other games, and yeah. So you do beat her, and then are you prepared for the 10-minute Death of Sniper Wolf scene?
Fuck no. It's so bad and so long.
She explains how she was a Kurdish rebel and grew up in hiding from the army, but then she met Big Boss, and she became a sniper and could be the one in the shadows hiding and not seeing the fighting, only through the lens of her sniper rifle. It's long, and she talks. She's got a lung wound because Snake's trying to save her, and she's like, "Oh no, don't! You've pierced my lung. I don't have lung now." And so she's talking and telling you her childhood history as a Kurdish sniper, and then who barges in and decides to make this moment all about him.
Hang on. I want to actually, my view on it was different, because from my perspective, she did basically die, and then Otacon shows up, and she comes back to life, and I was like, fuck.
Maybe they slightly changed the way the scene works in the GameCube one, because it just seems like she's talking to Snake, and...
No, this shit takes so long. I was like checking emails on my phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's talking to Snake about her childhood. Then Otacon comes in and he says, "You can't die. I love you. Don't you understand? I love you." And she's like, "Who's this again?"
Who are
The guy I let feed the dogs? Okay. This isn't about you. This is kind of my thing. You have nothing to do with this. But I love you. No. So speaking of this scene, I sent a couple of scenes to Vanessa for her reaction, and she's like, "You gave me too much homework. This is too long. I only want to do one of these scenes." So I was like, "Okay, we'll do the Sniper Wolf death." And then she wrote back, "This is so long. I don't want to watch all of this." But she did. So great, Vanessa. Now let's take a look at what Vanessa has to say about this scene.
Yeah.
Johnny asked me to watch The Death of Sniper Wolf, and I did. But I don't want to talk about Sniper Wolf. She's dead, and I don't care. All I care about is Glass's floppy hair. Glass's floppy hair was in love with Sniper Wolf, even though she's never given him the time of day, other than letting him feed the dogs. Like many bookish young men, GFH, that's Glass's floppy hair, fixated on the popular blonde athletic woman in his proximity without considering whether they would make a good match beyond his initial attraction to her. Clearly, they were not a good pairing, as GFH wanted to enjoy his future with Sniper Wolf by his side, while Sniper Wolf wanted Snake to shoot her in the head. Now GFH will have to make his escape and find a purpose beyond winning the heart of Sniper Wolf. Luckily, I have a suggestion. GFH belongs with me. Only I can look beyond his ugly polygonal face and see the true spirit underneath. I admire GFH for his intelligence. You can tell he's intelligent because he wears glasses. I also assume he's a scientist because he wears a white coat. He worked on something called Metal Gear, which, great job, Einstein, a gear made out of metal. I haven't heard of an idea like that since the Han Dynasty in 4th century BC. Maybe he's not as smart as I thought. He has floppy hair, though, and that's enough. Wait, have I just fixated on the only floppy-haired man in the proximity of this video without considering whether we'd make a good match beyond my initial physical attraction to him? Oh my god, I'm just like Glass's floppy hair. We are the perfect couple.
So wow, Vanessa.
This does have some great lines. I do think that other than Glass's floppy hair barging in and making this all about him, Snake talks to her like a person and not like, "Your two breasts attached to legs." And I love that. He talks about how she's a warrior, and because she says, "I'm going to die like a dog," he's like, "No, you're going to die like the wolf you are. You're a cunning hunter. You're one of the best hunters I've ever met. You're so amazing." And she's like, "Oh yeah, oh cool. Can you kill me? Because I don't want to die slowly." And he does. He just puts a bullet in her head.
Yeah, he does.
What do you think of that?
Otacon, like, flails around like a fucking asshole in the background.
This lady you've only met a couple of times who's never shown any interest in you.
It's not true. She let him feed the dog. She gave her her handkerchief.
Yeah, to feed the dogs.
She's definitely gonna bang him, is all I'm saying.
No.
Had it in the bag.
Oh.
I'm surprised when he showed up, she didn't like, "Ooh, Otacon, I'll survive now."
Nope.
That's what we're gonna find out in Metal Gear Solid 2.
You do find out more about her in Metal Gear Solid 2, I gotta say. But what you find out, I'm not gonna say, because, that's for next time. Nope. So then you can explore and get lots of items from all these rooms around, though there's one door you can't go into. And finally, you go, oh shoot, there was a door I never went into. Who cares, I finished the game. You go downstairs, and there's these very, very long cargo elevators that take a long time to go down. And the first one
This is hell.
You do get attacked by troops jumping down. And I did notice that the elevators has this cross on it. I'm like, well, this is probably Kojima, and Kojima does like imagery, so I'm sure he's like, this is his descent in the underworld, like Dante's trip to the Inferno or something. Probably, yeah, I would say for sure. This part is hell, and this is the part of the game when I realized, I should have realized with Sniper Wolf's death, but this is the part of the game when I realized, like, oh, the game's over, and we're just riding fucking cutscenes and filler all the way to the end. Yep.
We're gonna get 3 more hours of nothing.
So the second one, you do not get attacked, but you do get some crows hanging out. They don't really attack you. They're just there, just saying hi. I guess you can shoot the crows if you want to.
I don't know why you keep calling them crows. That is an insult. Those are ravens, obviously.
Okay, some kind of big corvid, you're right. They are there. And you get down to the bottom, and there's this big frozen warehouse. And who shows up in the big frozen warehouse, Matt?
It's Sue Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Susanegger. It wasn't very good, but I tried.
You did try.
Listen, it's not my fault that they literally ripped Arnold Schwarzenegger into this game, but then, and accent and all, but then put him in brownface and decided he's a Sioux Indian and controls ravens psychically or something. I don't know why they did it, but I have to recognize it for what it is. Because he talks like this.
I would say that even
Metal Gear.
in his
Solid
GameCube,
Snake.
his GameCube version is more attractive. I've never found Arnold Schwarzenegger attractive, but I do kind of like him. When Snake sees him, he's like, "You're the one from the tank," and he says, "Yes, I was the one in the tank."
Yeah, I was the one in the tank.
And he says,
Did not blow up with the bullets and the explosions, though.
"Must have been a tight fit for a big boy like you."
Yeah, that's right. Oh my god.
I was like,
Must have been a tight fit.
Yeah, those two are hitting on each other finally.
Yeah, they're warriors, game recognizing game. They're seeing the muscles, and I can see them going at it. Now, who's the top there? Solid, right? It's gotta be Solid.
Yeah, for sure. Raven is carrying a very large, cylinder full of bullets connected to his minigun. And he is using a Vulcan cannon.
He is using a Vulcan cannon. It is the size, it's larger than he is, and he is quite large.
Yep. And he does shoot this fight, it took me a few tries, but I like that.
Stinger missile.
Yeah, Stinger, well, I didn't use Stinger, I used the Nikita.
Oh yeah, Nikita, that's right. Nikita.
And I also use I have tons of C4, and that, you can just leave it around where he's gonna walk. But every shot doesn't do very much damage, which is a little annoying. And he does tons of damage every time he gets you. So
I actually, a lot of these bosses towards the end I had an easier time with because I just did the old never stop running, you know? Good luck catching me with your gun. Because I'm on every point of the screen at one time.
And he is very slow, which is useful. And I did like that his shots destroy all the crates around you. I think he can release some extra rations and stuff. I think that some stuff shows up if you let him blow up some crates or something. But after you kill him, there is a bit of a long cutscene as he tells you his life story as a Sioux warrior.
Well, I wanted to say before the fight happens, there is a moment where they have a psychic connection, which was pretty cool. I liked it. There's just a minute of what is it, John? It's like a flash.
Yeah, a flash of the birds flying into him and coming out. He sees the birds
Snake's
coming
am I
out of his head.
hallucinating?
And he, like everyone, does give Snake his keycard after Snake defeats him. And he's like, "Why are you doing this?" And he says, "Because I recognize that you're a skilled warrior, like me. And I think that's great. And do you lift like me? Because I lift all the time. Here's my big beefy chest full of tattoos. Do you like it? Do you like it, Snake?
Do you like my big beefy chest? I bet that you would spot me in the gym.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get some fan art of that.
We need to get those, hey, muscle milkers.
Vulcan.
Hey, Vulcan, we gotta get those muscle milkers oiled up with some oil.
That's right, Snake.
All right, well, now that this sexual fantasy is over, let's move on.
He does get eaten by ravens, I guess. He disappears in a cloud of ravens.
He's magic. He talks about how he's moving on to the next plane, so, he's pretty, no harm, no foul, dog. He killed me. No big. Oopsie.
And now to the next screen, which is that where the Molten Factory? No, the Molten Factory is before the elevators. The Molten Factory is a little annoying because you can very easily get knocked off of, because you kind of have to scooch along the sidewall to get there, right?
I like this. You have to duck under the thing comes by, and you have to duck. You have to crouch while you're sidled
I
along the
didn't
wall.
crouch. I thought you had to time it.
No, you have to crouch. You can just crouch and it'll go over you. Pretty cool stuff.
In the GameCube version, you can flip over the side of the railings and let go. And there's some body armor, which does reduce your damage by half. There's a couple of ways to go get that, but that's in that room.
You know what makes me like this game so much? I have to be honest, and you must realize this, and we probably even said it last time. This is just a Metroidvania.
Yeah.
It's like a straight up is.
It just takes itself so seriously when it has all the gravitas of a G.I. Joe episode. And
yeah,
I kind of like that in a way, but it also goes on way too long. There's so many cutscenes and talking.
Exactly. It's one of those things where it's funny in concept and in retrospect, but at the time it's the cutscenes are interminable. I was screaming at my TV, just let me go. Let me go.
So, you're getting these phone calls from Master Miller, who says, "Hey, I used to be in the FBI, and guess what? Naomi says her dad was in the FBI, but he was Japanese, and that the timeline doesn't work. And Naomi is nowhere to be found, because he's like, she should defend herself. And you keep coming back, and it seems like Naomi's hiding. You get these calls, and Naomi was hiding and then is getting arrested, and she starts screaming at the chief to tell Snake the whole truth, and all that's going on.
We learned that she's been sending coded transmissions to the base, to Shadow Moses.
Yeah,
so she has been communicating with somebody inside the base.
Yeah.
They also learned that she is not Naomi, whatever her name is. She is an imposter. That Naomi vanished several years ago, and these are falsified credentials.
And so
they arrest her.
Yeah. And
this all happens over the seat tech or whatever it's called. So you just watch, you just get this via radio news.
Yes, you do get a nice, like, radio play as the Colonel is...
Some of this stuff I like a lot, actually. Like,
it's
this
not
is
bad.
fun.
Yeah.
But this is a good way to, like...
Add a bit more drama as you're...
Add a bit more drama, but also, like, to have, like, you know, like, it's a good way to do something a little different to get you kind of... It's good. Good game.
I do like
Good
that
game
in...
design.
I don't know about Metal Gear games, but in other games, these now can happen as you're exploring, so you don't have to just sit and wait, but as you're, like, going through rooms, you can hear this stuff. And that kind of works better, I think, than stopping everything for a codec call.
I agree with that, but you also, this way you get the faces. Like, this is the predecessor of the Tales' skits, right?
Yeah.
These are Tales' skits.
Pretty
but
much.
with a green filter on them.
Yeah.
That's it. And they're as lightly animated. That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Just a little filler for you, you know, just a little visual novel time, just to kill another 30 minutes.
So you make your way to the command room in the underground base as you sort of go on these catwalks around the Metal Gear, and you're like, well, I only have one of these PAL cards, and you need 3 cards in order to deactivate the Metal Gear. As soon as you get there to the control room, you do see that they say, well, we've got the launch codes now. You see Ocelot and Liquid there. And they're like, well, we got the launch codes. All we have to do is find the, now no one can stop it. We're going to launch these missiles. Only Snake could stop it if he had the PAL cards, but it's a good thing he doesn't have those PAL cards, huh, buddy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great that Snake doesn't have these PAL cards. Otherwise, he could shut down Metal Gear. That would be awful. And they say very loudly, but then I don't know if they're faking or not, because then Revolver sees, like, in Liquid's eyeball, a reflection of Snake, and spins around and starts shooting at him. I also, there's one little moment. So Revolver also
I have
sees...
no idea what you're talking about.
this is probably a Twin Snakes version of the cutscene. But you know how they're talking at the command terminal, right? Like, by the Metal Gear. So there's one moment when Liquid's asking him about the cards, and... Ocelot goes over to a terminal and moves his hand over it to start typing, and then looks down and sees the hand's not there. I guess he must be on.
Because he's in the suit.
No, because Ocelot looks down. He only has one hand.
Oh, he's only got one hand. Yeah.
It was a very groany little detail that they put in. So then, Revolver Ocelot does shoot at you, and you have to run away from all the guards attacking you. But then I guess the guards just give up. So then you can go back up there. There are a couple of cameras that will lock you in and kill you with gas if you do get in their cones of vision. So you have to avoid them with, like, chaff grenades or just shoot them out. Knock out all the guards or kill all the guards and then just shoot out those cameras, because they'll keep annoying you throughout the rest of the game otherwise. Mm-hmm. And here, Hal finally figures out how this thing works. He's like, hey, you actually have all 3 cards. Guess what, Snake? There's 3 logos, and what you have is a polymorphic card that will change its shape based on temperature and will become the other 2 cards. So all you have to do is take it out. It needs 1 card at room temperature, 1 card at very hot temperatures, and 1 card at very cold temperatures.
Sure.
So that just means you got to backtrack to the boiler room and heat it up. And when I did that, unfortunately, I did forget to wait until it changed twice. Because I still had it as cold, and it went from cold to room temperature, then I went all the way back. Yeah. You gotta make sure it turns to the hot one.
This is the dumbest key puzzle I've ever had the mispleasure of experiencing.
It's not great. And then you go to, like, the room where Raven was, or any of the other super cold rooms, and you can change it to freezing and input that. As you do this, then you get more of the radio drama of the Naomi Chronicles, and you find out that she tells you that the Colonel isn't telling you everything as she gets arrested, and then the Colonel's like, yeah, they're gonna send a nuclear strike here, so that's bad. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stop that. But then his boss comes in, and it's like, no, you're not stopping the nuclear strike. You're gonna blow up that base, you jerk.
Yeah. This is the CIA director, I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Or Defense Secretary? Was he Defense Secretary?
Yeah, maybe.
And also, Ocelot and Liquid start talking about this Russian colonel that they're dealing with, and I feel like that comes back in one of the next games. That he's someone that they're buying the Hind D from, and he's the one that they're going to sell Metal Gear to. And this is all for money.
Yeah, it's really exciting how this all is about money. You know what, actually, I kind of like this. So these fucking, you expect this to go to space or something, so, like, this is not too bad, actually. Like, the cutscenes are terrible, and the dialogue's bad, but, like...
It's fun.
The weird conceit that it's, like, it's in a world where the Cold War didn't end? Why?
I've never heard that before.
It makes everything so weirdly confusing. No, I definitely remember that being the case.
Oh, okay. I know Jim said that last episode, but I just hadn't heard that before.
I said it because I was reading through the Wikipedia, and I had forgotten it, but I definitely remember that as a big thing, as a plot point, and it's strange. It's a strange conceit that doesn't feel like it adds anything to the games.
No.
Because the games are strictly about, like, orphans dying on the battlefield and crying about it, you know?
Mm-hmm. So as soon as you put in the last card, then the last of these tubes go down to shut down Metal Gear, but then it says, Metal Gear activated. And Liquid Snake comes on, well, first Master Miller comes on screen, he's like, great work, Snake, you've activated Metal Gear. And Snake's like, what? And he takes off his disguise, and Master Miller was Liquid Snake this whole time.
Take that back.
What?
He does not take off a disguise. He goes from talking like this, Snake, to suddenly talking like this, Snake, and then he takes off his sunglasses and takes his ponytail out, and he says, "Ha-ha, I'm Liquid."
I'm
That got
Liquid
flamboyant. I didn't
Snake.
mean for that to go there. Sorry.
Les enfants terribles, for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest problem that I have with this is that Liquid constantly is telling you, like, "That's right, Snake, I'm the inferior Snake," and then is like, "But now I'll kill you," and he fails, and you're like, "Okay, shocker," and then he pops back up, "I'm still alive!" Like, I already killed you once.
Well,
Why is it gonna be harder this time?
Well, let's talk about that first fight, because the first fight against Metal Gear, you gotta shoot this radar dish, and he's yelling at you about how, yeah, like you said, that he's it's the movie Twins. This game has turned into the movie Twins. Liquid Snake is Danny DeVito, and you are Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Was that, are they clones of somebody in Twins?
In Twins, they are. It literally is the same plot that they took all the good genetic material and put it into Arnold Schwarzenegger, and took all the bad genetic
But
material
were they
and put
clones of somebody?
Yeah.
Of who?
The scientists that made them, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I think you're right. I think I remember that now. But, yes, that is the exact plot of Twins. Now, it's pretty fun if you look back and think back, because this is the first, I would say, 90% of the population, this is the first experience they get with Metal Gear. And it is playing off of, like, it's the threequel to a series. It's the third in a series. And, like, if you turned on your fucking hero and leader, Big Boss, then you had to go and kill your best friend in the pursuit of making sure Big Boss was for sure dead. And now, like, they've stretched even further and have come up with Evil Twin.
Yeah, and
Kojima's a genius, though.
Is he? I think he just reads a lot of good books. And so he does.
He is a genius game designer, though. This is frustrating, as bad as the controls are and as terrible as it looks. It is a PlayStation 1 game. This game rocked the world when it came out. It was, and still is, just an absolute fucking delight. Like a well, anyway, we'll get to that.
It's got so many small details and stuff. But we should mention Naomi. She's like, yeah, I developed this virus fox dye that kills all members of Foxhound, including you, because I hate you so much because you killed my brother, Frank Yeager. Frank Yeager's the best. He's Gray Fox. He's Cyber Ninja, and he took me out of poverty and rescued me. I don't know who my parents are. So I assume the identity of Naomi Campbell. I don't know why my skin color is the way it is, was one of the weirder comments she made.
Well, she says she doesn't know her ethnicity, I think is what she was trying to say, is she doesn't know anything about herself. All she knows is that she's a fucking orphan and that Frank Yeager took care of her. Frank Yeager, a.k.a. Gray Fox, a.k.a. the Cyber Ninja. So is that who she was communicating with inside the facility?
I guess, no, because, I guess because she...
Doesn't seem so, by what happens. I don't remember them saying that.
No,
who the fuck was she communicating with?
She must have been Liquid, because he had all that insider knowledge, right? And they keep saying that there's a spy on the inside, and that's how Liquid knows all this stuff that's happening. So I guess it's got to be her.
But Master
Miller.
No, Master Miller was Liquid. He's the spy on the inside, too. Why would you need her when you could just put sunglasses on and pretend to be somebody called Master?
Well,
and nobody knows! How does nobody fucking know?
You're about to get killed by Metal Gear in this fight, even after you, blow up its radar dish. Then...
But then he's like, fuck's trying to shoot you with rockets. I'm just gonna stomp on your ass.
But then, who saves you?
Cyber Ninja.
Cyber Ninja comes in and is like, you're not gonna die. We're not gonna die. I'm gonna get my revenge. I got this sweet sword.
I had a weird moment here where, do you think, John, this is sensitive subject matter. John, do you think that the voice actor that plays Gray Fox is a black man?
I don't know.
I read it as a black man.
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
So when he finally does get his, helmet blown off, and he's just some, I don't know what ethnicity he is, but he ain't no black guy. And I was like, this is not who I thought this was. I mean, he does talk like Cobra Commander sometimes, but when he's not talking like Cobra Commander, he talks a bit like, Morgan Freeman. He does.
Okay. Yeah,
that's what I hear, anyway. I don't know. Maybe it's just, a weird, people can sound like other people.
Yeah.
Probably cut all that.
All we know is he's an American, and so the cutscenes for this in Twin Snakes are pretty rad, as he's slicing and dicing Metal Gear. Oh, that's pretty good. And he does go ahead and save you. Unfortunately, as he saves you, he does end up getting kind of squashed against a wall because his sword gets lost or stuck or something, and Liquid's like, ha ha ha, I shall swat both of these annoying flies. So he squishes poor Cyber Ninja up against a wall, and then Cyber Ninja does fall on the floor, and he does, splat Cyber Ninja a bit. It's, Cyber Ninja saved Snake from being crushed and all, but I feel like it was pretty undignified to have him get splatted like that. And then you have fight number 2 against Metal Gear. This time his cockpit is exposed due to the damage it took, so you can just aim your Stinger missiles right at Liquid, so it's really not too hard. And you do blow it up, and then, unfortunately, Snake does get knocked unconscious, which does result in Liquid, I guess, taking some time to arrange the scene. Meanwhile, the Colonel did tell you that there's a nuclear launch coming, and the base is going to be blowed up, so that's bad, because they want to get rid of this. Although, maybe not now that Metal Gear is destroyed, because he did destroy Metal Gear. But you wake up...
I don't understand why, if Liquid is the inferior clone, he is capable of taking... Let me stop rolling around here because I'm sure it's on my track. I don't understand why Liquid, if he is the inferior clone, is capable of taking, like, 8 Stinger missiles straight up to the face and being fine. But now Snake, 1 or 2 bullets, and that guy is dunsies. Your health in this game sucks.
Yeah, definitely the body armor helps with that, because it means you can survive, like, 4 missile blasts.
I did not get body armor.
There is a scene after the credits that does explain the answers to this question, Matthew. We'll get there. Your question, why Liquid could survive 8 missiles to this face.
Oh, is it about Genome Soldiers?
Yes, it's about Genome Soldiers. So they're Liquid and Snake are part of Les Enfants Terribles, which was a cloning project to make a clone of Big Boss.
Is that really the name of it?
Yeah.
I remember hearing that once.
And maybe it could be that they added that name, because they definitely talk about it in Metal Gear, the later ones. Maybe they went back and added that to the script of
I
Twin
don't
Snakes.
remember hearing it one time, but I was not giving it my whole attention at this point because these cutscenes are legit 20 minutes apiece.
Yeah.
And he just, fucking Liquid Snake repeats himself so many times that, like, you think he's got, like, OCD or something, where he's like, Snake, I gotta tell ya, we're brothers, because we're clones, but I'm the inferior one, and so I hate you, and so I'm gonna kill you.
And the Genome Soldiers are the 3rd generation of Big Boss clones, but they have a defect that can only be solved by getting the original Big Boss's DNA, which is why they're doing this hostage situation in the first place, was to get Big Boss's DNA so that they can cure the Genome Soldiers, and also maybe, like, reverse engineer Fox Die. But Liquid's kind of stunned that he doesn't seem to be affected by Fox Die as you're fighting. He's like, oh, that's weird. Maybe we're immune to it because we have more Big Boss's DNA? I don't know. But it's killing everybody else. And so basically...
Yes, it's killing everybody else. So he tells Snake, is it him that tells Snake, like, you're the carrier? Right. You brought it in to this place, and it's designed to kill Genome Soldiers, basically, right? So, like,
kill all the members of Foxhound.
Yeah.
I know that, I forgot to mention, Raven does explain that. He's like, I'll give you a hint. You didn't talk to the head of DARPA. You talked to Decoy Octopus, who was like, he can change his shape to look like anyone, and he was looking like the head of DARPA, but then he had a heart attack from the Fox Die virus that you have been secretly brought in to administer. You're the backup plan, and your Fox Die is what killed the DARPA chief, and that's why he was rotting in a cell, because the real DARPA chief died during interrogation. And this is also why why Liquid Snake pretended that they had all the codes. They didn't get the code from the DARPA chief because he died during interrogation. So that's what that was all about, and why you never meet Decoy Octopus.
Yeah.
He already did.
You did meet
him. Yeah, that's true. He did have a big old heart attack. So now, if you have saved Meryl, i.e. if you got past the torture, Meryl is there on top of the Metal Gear. And she's like she's the prize, and Liquid Snake does get Shirtless, and you are Shirtless, and he's like, now, Shirtless brother, we shall fight each other in the grappliest grapple of all grapplings.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, because this game isn't that complicated, so it's just punch, punch, kick. Punch, punch, kick. Punch, punch, kick.
And you can knock him off the side a few times. He's like, even you, the mighty Solid Snake, would not survive a fall of this magnitude. So you have to make sure you don't get knocked off. I like this.
See, it's only like 2 stories high.
I know.
I mean, it wouldn't feel great, but he'd survive.
Maybe, especially a super soldier. Like those two are from Les Enfants Terribles.
That's from Anne Rice's The Vampire Chronicles, and I wish that you would stop referencing it as if it has anything to do with this game.
I just love saying it.
Rip Anne Rice.
Yeah, oh yeah. Also, R.I.P. John Madden.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing, John.
He just died. We just
died.
found out. This breaking
Classic
gaming news.
This is the late hot gaming news moment.
Oh no. Yeah, poor John Madden. I mean, he was in his mid-80s.
What are you talking about, poor John Madden? He was fucking happy and successful life as a professional shithead.
I don't. All I know is that he used to be in those Bud Light commercials where he was
all garbage.
Oh, okay. I just know him from those Bud Light commercials where he's like, "Give me a light," and then they give him some kind of wacky thing. Oh no, it's the tape's great, less filling thing. That was what it was. He wasn't the wacky light ones. Anyway,
and also those video games. Anyway, Solid Snake and his dear brother have a
very homoerotic
shirtless wrestling match.
Yeah.
Well, John, please don't call it homoerotic. They are brothers.
Well, but this is just as homoerotic as Flint and Yuri in the last game. Why is it 2 games in a row with a shirtless wrestling match?
I love shirtless wrestling matches.
Yeah.
I feel like every game should have this.
So, you punch out Liquid. He does fall off the side.
He falls after explaining to you several times that no man can survive this.
Yeah. So I guess that's death 2. Well, death 3, because there was Hind exploding, then there was Metal Gear exploding, and then there was this fight. So that's death number 3.
All right, I'm going to give you that, but I feel like we're forgetting at least one
There's one
in
more.
the first half of the game. In the first half of the game. I'm positive he fake out dies at least once.
There's still one more coming
I
up
don't
for sure.
Oh, there's 2 or 3 more coming.
So you do... Oh, yeah, you're right. 2 more. There's 2 more.
I think there's 3. I think there are 3 more.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe that last one there's like a double fake out or something.
All right, can we just get on with it? Let's get on with it.
So, Meryl is okay. You talked... She's fine. Even though her like legs would have been shattered from all those... wounds?
Did you guys talk last time about how Sniper... Boy, I don't want to get... I know that this is a raunchy rated R show, but I really don't feel super comfortable without Vanessa around. How she did get shot in the pussy?
Oh, she sniper.
She got shot right in the pussy.
Well, she got shot.
Meryl.
Meryl got shot in like the two.
Right in the vagina.
2 in the legs and then 1 in her tummy.
Right in the vagina. At least on mine. I'm like, maybe.
That's true.
Whatever,
that's true.
dude.
Yeah.
Like you see that thing crawl up her, right? And it does stop. I swear to God, it stops right on her
Yeah, it could
fucking
be
vagina.
that in the version I watched, it was her tummy, for sure. But that is.
I would have to. Like, I feel like listeners chime in. Am I right? I
No,
swear
we
to
watched
God.
we played 2 different games. They totally could have
Yeah, but
changed the aiming of the bullet.
My memory ain't good.
That's true. But she's fine. That is the most surprising thing about this. She's got some bandages wrapped around where, a large caliber sniper rifle, a Mosin Nagant, took out her legs and her torso.
Yes, she also intimates that she was tortured and says and worse, which I don't really want to discuss what and worse could mean.
Fuck you, cute Kojima. Like, there's no time for that. That's bullshit. You didn't need that in the game. Why would you add that?
I don't know. What else could be worse? Maybe they mind.
I hope so. But yeah, if it's what we're thinking, fuck off. Like, that is
Trash. Pure trash. Pure
trash. Anyway, so you join forces with her, and she's up and walking for some reason. I don't know why. And she's like, find the keys to this Jeep. We gotta go before they nuke the base. And you do find a Jeep, and then it's a water ski with Hal if you have the other ending. And that's the only I've never seen the Meryl ending before. I've only seen the Hal ending before, and it's real dumb and real long. But, so either you're gonna be on a water ski with Hal or on a Jeep with Meryl. And you get all the way out. There's a annoying sequence of driving.
Oh, yeah, there's a water ski with Hal part? Oh, that sounds way better.
It is.
Wait, so Hal lives if Meryl dies?
Hal, he shows up at the ending. He's there.
No, he stays behind.
Well, but he's fine. He lives either way.
They were firing a nuke into the fucking building!
Well, they didn't in the end. So you, there's a turret sequence where you're shooting
I do know
stuff.
he survives, because I did play Metal Gear 2.
Yeah. There's a turret sequence where you're shooting stuff. I'm pretty sure Hal shows up at the end with some, bandages or something. I can't remember.
I mean, what's the end to you? I didn't get, a fucking epilogue.
Well, you go through so you get out of the tunnel after a long chase, and then Liquid shows up in his own Jeep, and you have to, blow up his Jeep, and that explodes.
Hang on. This is a lot more than John's intimating. The chase in the Jeep, you, have to keep stopping for fucking fields of soldiers, and you just mow them down, 3 soldiers, and you just mow them down, and it's fun. This is a fun part of the game, except it's so stupid, because it's like you can get out of the car, so all you do is sit there and just absorb bullets. Let's be generous and say the developers, because there's more than one person involved in making a game. Do they not realize that, it kind of, undercuts the tension when your whole deal is I'll just stand here and get shot. Hurry up, Snake, we won't make it in time.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I know you can carry 5 rations, too, so.
I did like the whole fight with Liquid at the end, where, you're on each other's car, and then, eventually he totally punches out Liquid, and Liquid's Jeep explodes, and Meryl and Snake drive off into the sunset. And
on each other's cars. You just get chased by Liquid and shoot him with the...
it's the redirected cutscenes, which makes it
it's pretty good, because, in the thing, Liquid will duck down for your bullets, and that was, for some weird reason to me, I was like, wow, this is smarter design than the rest of the game. An enemy is trying to avoid my shots for the first time.
So you get out, and Campbell comes on the phone. He got himself unarrested. Yeah, Campbell.
He's I have 2 bumps.
He says, hey, we've arrested the defense secretary. He was trying to cover up stuff, and that's why he wanted to nuke this, but we stopped him, and now he's under arrest. So no more nuclear missile. And then Hal's like, I'm fine. And then Naomi starts apologizing, and there's a 10-minute speech about Naomi on how you could live the rest of your life, and how living is so much better, and you should live.
Well, and Snake lies to her.
Yeah. He does.
Because we talked about this, right? That Cyber Ninja killed her family. Did we talk about that, John?
We didn't. Oh, we forgot that part. He did kill her family.
When in that great scene when he gets crushed against a wall, which John complained about earlier, but I thought was fucking awesome.
But no, not just crushed against a wall, then dropped on the floor and squished. Oh, and there's blood squirts on either side of the squashing. That was pretty gross.
And anyway, he admits that the reason that he took her in is because he killed her family, and so he has raised her and yada 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 to assuage his guilty conscience. And then when at the end, you lie to her and just say he said he loves you very much, and he did this for you. He sacrificed his life not just to save me, but to save the world, save you, to save the world. I don't know what happens to her. Does she just ride off into the sunset?
Naomi?
Yeah.
She is talking to you from prison, I guess?
No. She escapes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she escapes. That's how she's talking to you.
Okay.
Maybe they get her again? Oh,
I don't know. So you get a long speech by her, and Meryl's okay, and Snake says, oh yeah, by the way, my name is David. And she's like, it's great to meet you, Dave. He just introduced himself as David, Meryl.
He did. She's an asshole.
Yep.
That happens to me all the time, actually. I always introduce myself as Matthew, and people always immediately go mad. Great. That's what I said.
And then that's pretty much the end, except that Liquid Snake comes back. Oh no, it's Liquid Snake, and he's going to kill everybody. Except Fox Die happens. And he had a heart attack just like everyone else.
That's right. And there's this whole scene where Snake is talking to Naomi, and it's like, tell me when I have Fox Die. So tell me when it's gonna kill me. And she's just like, all I can tell you is live.
That's why, yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Give me the date, motherfucker.
It does
But I
seem
guess
like...
it's quite long because you said he's in 4.
Yep.
4's the one that I barely played because I was like, this is all one long corridor.
I think 4 takes place like 10 or 15 years after 1, I think.
Does he not remain with Meryl because they drive off into the sunset?
He does
So I
not.
assume
They
they're
are
in
just
love.
friends. They are just friends in 4.
Wow.
So I guess that didn't work out.
guess not.
Because, yeah, that's the very end. Then you get some long credit scenes and footage of animals. Lots of footage of animals being happy and nice. But then, after the FMV animal footage, you get...
I turned mine off. I was done.
You get a black screen where Revolver Ocelot's on the phone with someone explaining, yes, Liquid Snake never realized he's the superior twin, and Solid Snake was the inferior twin. He was the Danny DeVito.
Wow, so Snake is the Danny DeVito?
Snake is the Danny DeVito.
Wow,
Liquid was
I like that.
Arnold Schwarzenegger this whole time, but they just
that.
want...
It makes more sense.
Yeah, they kept Liquid in check by telling him he was inferior, and it gave him this whole complex. So they were
Actually, I
controlling
kind
him.
of wanted, the whole time I wanted Solid to be like, well, listen, hang on now. Like, check this out. What if it's not my fault? What if it's the people that cloned us' fault? And, like, what if we just team up against them? And, like, hang out and be bros? And, like, we can have Thanksgiving and Christmas together. And, like, oh, we can, like, fucking, you can be my best man. Like, you can be cool. You can be cool. I always wanted a bro. I love bros. I ain't got no family. Family.
But there's one more line at the end. All right, I'll talk to you soon, Mr. President.
What?
That's the end of the game.
But who says that?
Revolver Ocelot was telling his plans to the President of the United States, who is the big bad guy.
Oh, so the president, because they did say the president was not involved, but I guess the defense secretary was just a patsy? Wow.
And the president was in on it the whole time.
Man, it's the craziest thing about these Metal Gear games is that they are just like 2 crazy steps removed from greatness. Like, these are almost so good.
They're fun. You know what? Let's talk about it. I mean, they're
Well, it's a video game. It's still like a 9 out of 10. Like, it's an amazing game.
yeah.
Let's dive into it, John. What are you squarely against?
I would say I'm roundly for Metal Gear Solid. I forgot how short it is. I mean, I knew how short it is, but really, after you get past that first disc, that second disc just feels like it takes 10 minutes compared to the first disc.
The dumbest thing I've ever heard. If the second disc feels twice as long because it is all cutscenes.
I guess because I played it over a week. I wasn't cramming it, so I was like...
I did cram it.
This really feels like everything's happening super fast. But I like it. I think that it's got some awful parts. I think Kojima can be really smart, and he is a great game designer. I think all the stuff from 2, being put into Twin Snakes specifically, is so much fun. Like getting the key, you can get the dog tags off of every soldier in the game, and all that stuff is wonderful. There's a whole lot of plot holes, but who cares? It's just it's dumb fun that thinks it's really smart, which either you're gonna like or you're gonna hate. It can rub you the wrong way, or you can kind of just go with it.
I mean, there's great concepts here, and the scene to scene writing is atrocious.
Do you like playing the game when it lets you play
I
it?
love playing the game. I love playing the game. It's the funnest fucking game to play. Even when it's so annoying and you're like, fuck these controls, fuck this terrible first-person camera, fuck how am I supposed to shoot anybody? Like, it's terrible, but like, it's amazing. It's a great game. Still hooky and fun. You know, it reminds me of it's like a weird puzzle Tony Hawk in a way, where like I just can't quite get enough of the actual gameplay.
The gameplay loop is so good. I wish that it gave you a bit more space. I think that's something that the later games, like 3 especially, gives you more time to be Snake and have fun with the abilities. I know 5 does that too.
3
I
is...
haven't played 5.
Elizabeth Big Boss, not Snake. 3 is...
He's still codenamed Snake.
I didn't play all of 3, but... Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't play all of 3, but I didn't particularly like the open world as much. I like the structure of 1 and 2 a lot more. Because as I said, I feel like these earlier... 2 is very similar. They feel like they're puzzle games more than they're like action games. They're like puzzle games with action spots. And that's an interesting and a fun dynamic. And the later games just kind of become third-person stealth action games.
Right, yeah. The first 2 are very much... And some parts of 3, I would say, have that classic Metal Gear feel to it. But it also has, like, survival elements and food and injuries. It gets a lot more complicated. You can
Yeah, unfortunately, 3 gets a little too complicated for me. It's everybody's favorite, and... I
It's
don't know, I
really
think 2 is my favorite, for sure. 4,
So-
I played like 5 hours of 4 and was like, this is all cutscenes and corridors, so I couldn't handle it, and it was terrible to me. And then I did play a shitload of 5, but...
So, overall, are you squarely against or roundly for this game?
I'm really for it. Like, honestly, Metal Gear Solid is still like a fucking instant classic. It's a 9 out of 10 game.
Yeah, it's real good.
Because even though it's like, the cutscenes are too long and like the writing is bad and fucking everything nothing really makes a lot of sense, like, it's the artistry that matters.
I like this game a lot more now than I did at the time. Like, now going back and sort of seeing it as kind of a Zelda puzzle throwback with stealth stuff, you can appreciate it a lot more.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that, actually. 100%. It's a lot easier to see it for what it is now, and once you realize what it is, it's easier to play it.
For sure. I also like how forgiving the game is. Like, you can die and it just resets you to that screen. Like,
I used to like reset my game and be like, no, I can't be discovered. I have no idea why I would do that.
I
This
mean,
game is so forgiving.
Yeah, the game will criticize you for being bad at it, but who cares? You still can win.
Yeah, well, Metal Gear Solid 2 in 2022. John, I feel like this might be our new end of the year thing.
Yeah, maybe. I'm fine
Maybe,
with that.
because I could do 2, 3, and 4. I don't know that we could do 5. But honestly, I think by the time we get through 2 more of these, we'll be done with it.
Yeah. So,
Plot doesn't get any better from here, guys. I can tell you that much.
Did you want to read Gage Lashouty's email?
Yeah, we got 2 emails this week. One was from Crystal Thurman, and she just very nicely recommended that we check out this Another Eden game that has a Chrono Cross crossover right now, and I did download it, actually. I'm going to check it out.
I know that Chief Hazard really likes that game, too. I feel like maybe Matt Jorgensen does, too.
All right, I'll go ahead and read our second email. It's from Gage Lashouty. Hello, Scoots crew. Hi, it's Gage Lashouty trying to get a spot on the show through an email. I really enjoyed playing along with the show this year, although I was not able to bring myself to finish Tales of Vesperia. Coward! I was thinking to myself about how some JRPGs tend to become real slogs, particularly in the last act. I feel this is particularly a problem with those more in the tradition of Dragon Quest, even Persona games, which I enjoy a lot, do have somewhat grueling final acts. You have all talked before about different RPG archetypes, Dragon Quests versus Final Fantasy, BioWare versus Bethesda versus Obsidian, etc. And I was wondering if anyone else had any thoughts along these lines or more generally. Second part of the email says, I appreciate the work you all put into the show. P.S. You covered The Outer Worlds on Patreon over a year ago at this point. I was wondering if anyone has gone back to try the DLC. The DLC titled Murder on Eridanos is a delight, and I think Vanessa especially will get a real kick out of it. I'm going to answer the last question first and say none of us have played that DLC.
I just started playing it again. I played quite a bit of it at my mom's house. So I will download that DLC because that sounds fun, and I love that game. That was 2 years ago. That was over 2 years ago.
That was a great game.
Yeah, I really liked it. It just had a bad ending, and I'd like to see how the DLC makes the game better, so I'm excited to try it. And, yeah, as for
the other question, yeah, let's not...
Yeah.
Nobody else is here, so unfortunately it's just going to have to come down to Johnny and I. I'm not quite sure. What was his question, John? I don't know what his question is.
Do you have any problems, or do you notice structure? Because, like, in terms of structure, one thing I always notice for structure is BioWare games all have the same structure. They have, like, the first 2 places you go to, and then it opens up to, like, 3 places you can go to, and then it's, like, a couple more before the end of the game, and then the end game, and, like, every BioWare game I play now just feels so derivative of that structure, and I feel like Dragon Age 2 is maybe the only one that doesn't really fall into that. And that's what we're playing next.
I mean, I would say that the JRPG problem is that they just pack 20 hours on. Sometimes more, that you don't need. I loved Persona 5. I loved it. I fucking put 100 hours into it. The game would have been better if it was 50 fucking hours. And I loved Dragon Quest XI. I did play the Definitive Edition. I did put over 100 hours into that. And as great as it was, it's certainly just, there's large chunks of the game where it's fun, but you don't really know what's going on. You're just kind of like, okay, I guess we're rolling through.
Yeah, I think it was a mistake that Dragon Quest games decided they would all be 100 hours after 7.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think it's just Dragon Quest. I think a lot of games feel the pressure to put 100 hours of content onto the disc, but it's too much, and I wish a lot of times that they would focus up on tightening up the game. Persona 5, again, a great example of, several dungeons that are just kind of interesting, but kind of a drag, and you get characters that don't get a lot of time, and you just kind of keep rolling through it. I don't know if that answers the question, but that's what I think about it. Mm-hmm. Are there any other types of this versus that games?
I don't know. I really enjoy the endgame of Persona stuff.
That one. Metroidvanias, you tend to get shooty Metroidvanias versus stabby Metroidvanias. Mm-hmm. Melee versus ranged combat Metroidvanias are very different games. Ranged combat Metroidvanias tend to stray very hard into the Metroid side, right? Mm-hmm. And melee combat Metroidvanias tend to be more on the Vania side. Mm-hmm. Isn't that weird? And interesting. But I tend to prefer the Vania side. I'm a Vania guy. The Metroid, I don't need the Metroid. The Vania, love that Vania.
Mm-hmm. And I guess the Chrono games are more like a little bit of Dragon Quest, but mostly Final Fantasy.
Chrono?
Yeah, the Chrono games.
Oh, yeah. Well, they have Akira Toyama as the artist for both of the series.
And I've been messing around with a couple of the Xeno games, the open world Xenoblade games, and they're its own thing, too. Because they're like these they're like MMOs without the MMO part, which is good and bad.
Without the O part.
Yeah.
Without the MMO part.
Yeah. But they are structured a lot, like, the worlds feel like an MMO, a bit like
the gameplay feels like MMOs. I can't stand it. Like, I'm glad that I'm not trying to drag anybody, whatever. People love MMOs.
Yeah.
My mother is a fucking MMO addict. I've said it a million times on the show. But I just cannot stand that gameplay style. It's so boring to me.
Matt is a sweaty boy, so let's finish up.
I'm in a closet, so it's hot.
Let's finish it. Poor guy. He's like drenched. We have a Patreon, as always. We appreciate your support. Coming up will be the year of all votes, 2022. It's up to you. After Dragon Age 2, then we will start on our first round of voting. We got to get our categories set up. We'll be working on that. So for $3 a month, you have access to all our bonus episodes, including one that we will be recording in a couple of days. And at the $5 a month, you get the access to voting. And there'll be a lot of that, so you might want to upgrade if you are interested in helping decide what we play. And any patron from $1 to a gajillion dollars, we're happy for your support. And don't give us a gajillion dollars. We don't deserve it.
Do give us a gajillion dollars. I deserve it.
So, Matt, thank some of our patrons.
Sure. I would like to thank WWE Mike G. I would like you to change your name to AEW Mike G. Miguel Torres, Florian Jonas Kramer, Ricky Barty, Rubber Bear, Sexy Grandma's Boy Toy is, Armin Hammer, Watch in the Wind, Sean Gonzalez, Joseph, Andy Best, Robert T., Ward Childress, Tom, Mostly Rational Person, Chris Ryan, Christopher Thompson, Adam Zimmerman, D. Jethro, no pithy profile name this week, I'm on break. It must be Vanessa. Amanda Douglas, Ryan Womack, Isaac Wright, OMG, what is this game? Chief Hazard built a coupon. Use Vape Mat at checkout in the HasLab Etsy. Wah wah wee wah. John Scala, Justin Rash, my solid snake usually doesn't turn into a liquid snake so quickly. Yeah, boo. Quizats HD Shack Shack. Anthony Cruz, petitioned to add Leopity Moore as a 5th co-host for 2022. Gage Lashasharite, Vanessa's Renegade Cheeseplate, Megan Sullivan, and David Green.
See, I would like to thank Ryan Miller. Vanessa's mom does not believe love exists on a battlefield.
Wow.
Ian Frederick, Bree Girth, Johnny Five, Alive, Magpie Juju, Eric Pidcamini, Eduardo Franco, William Westgard, Hudson Roth, Zachary Smith, Dr. Fine, say everyone's name. It's hard to catch new 2 of these nuts in your mouth. Zachary Train, Stephen Paget, Vanessa Fan, Aiden Marriott, Sean Walsh, Eric Poirier, Jake Dickerson, Justin Ham, DP299, Chad Wilson, Eric Garvey, Matt Newland, Snake, The RPG Luminary, Grey Code, Wedge Coon, Keys V Knight, Mary, Queen of Scoffs, George Brady, Saving Sid, Burp, Fart, My Hat, Citrus C, and Trent Hexam, Queer Icon.
What? All right, well, send us an email. Our email address is squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. And if you don't want to send us an email, you can tweet at us at Square Roots Pod, or you could find us on Facebook, the Facebook group, not a page, we don't do pages. The Facebook group is the Square Roots Podcast group for smart, cool, very attractive people. That's right.
Very attractive people.
Very attractive people.
And rate our show. Go on iTunes or Ghana or wherever you listen to podcasts and rate them. And thanks to Stephen Morris, because he did our theme. You can find Stephen on Twitter as Beige on Beige and on YouTube. Links in the show notes. And hey, Spotify, for all our classic episodes, go to squareroots.libsyn.com or use an RSS feed thing, like, one of those things where you can download podcasts, any of those apps. You can go on there, too, for all our old episodes. For Square Roots, I've been Johnny Brandon.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
Bye!
Bye!
Ooh, there's a harmony there for just a second.
I'll tell you a terrible story about, well, I won't tell you a whole story, but I remember one night when I was really drunk at a friend's house, I had a guy that I kind of always suspected was, in the closet. Mm-hmm. And he did get, really pissed off at me and start threatening to, wrestle me. Mm-hmm. Take your shirt off. I'm gonna take my shirt off. You want to prove this in the grass? You want to wrestle this out? And I was like, oh, boy. That's the nice part of the story. The bad part of the story is I was like, that means you're gay, bro. Ha! Because this was in, fucking 1992. Fuck off. This is in, fucking 2001 or something.
Yeah.
So that always has stuck with me is that guy fucking, I've never, I've had people try to fight me and stuff. I've never had somebody, want to, let's fucking get our clothes off. Let's get our shirts off and fucking wrestle this out. And I was like, I don't think so, man. Well, also because I don't want to wrestle a dude,
Yeah.
That wasn't homophobia. That was not wanting to wrestle a guy.
Surprised.
That guy. He was a big old bully, and he was a dick to me all through high school, and I don't feel bad about it. And I have not talked to him in a long time. And I hope that he's fucking come to terms with who he is, frankly.
Yeah. But trying out professional wrestling, pro-style wrestling, I did some training. I haven't gone to one of those camps. I kind of want to, but I feel like I might be too old and would just kill myself. It was the most, liberating and fun physical thing, but it's also, wrestling is so much physical work. Even pro wrestling, I was out of, just, drenched in sweat after 10 minutes, but it's awesome.
I know it's not the same thing, but I always say to people when I love pro wrestling, you're not impressed because they, hurt each other, because that doesn't happen. You're impressed because they're fucking performing physical feats. It's like fucking watching trapeze artists. It's crazy.
And the one thing that you find out when you start doing pro style wrestling is that ring is a trampoline, and it's so fun to just bounce people off of them and do flips and hold. Oh, it was really cool.
One thing I learned, I think, was that the ropes are not bouncy, and they always make them look bouncy.
The ropes are, they are tough. You have to put
make them
a
look
lot of
bouncy
and force.
No, they're not bouncy. That's what I've realized. They're not bouncy at all. People just, that's the look. That's the gimmick. Is you make it look like you just bouncing off of the ropes is hard work, John.
Yeah, everything in wrestling is hard work and will make you sweat like you never sweated in your life.
AEW had a winter thing the day before Christmas, or a few days before Christmas, where they had their top contender fight a big WWE guy. And they fucking wrestled the entire, they had a 60-minute time limit on it, and they wrestled the entire 60 minutes. It was wild. It was wild. And they had a couple of commercial breaks, but even a couple of those had picture-in-picture, so they kept going the whole time. And I can't imagine. The physical exhaustion, 2 minutes in that ring, and I would be a dead man walking. These guys went for an hour.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They're wrestling again next Wednesday, and I'm so excited.
Yay!
Yeah, anyway, let's talk about this game some more, please. It's so hot in this closet.
Okay, we're almost done.